Fred's got a gun. Do, 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 do. Fred's got a gun. Jane's got a gun. Howdy, partners. Now, that's better. Yeehaw! No. Yeehaw! Okay, Jane's got a gun. 2015. Directed by Gavin O'Connor, and he also directed Pride and Glory, Finding the Way Back, The Accountant. Very good. Yeah, very good fights, and Ben Affleck is great in it. The Warrior. Yeah, more fighting. Tumbleweeds, haven't seen that. Very good director. So I think he took over from someone else in this movie. There was a bit of a problem with directors, and the director left and he took over. So I think it made production sort of take a lot longer. But he's always a solid director, Gavin O'Connor, especially with Warrior and The Accountant. I haven't seen Pride and Glory. I'll have to watch that. Okay, so good director. Natalie Portman stars as Jane Hammond. Natalie Portman, what has she been in? Okay. Black Swan, V for Vendetta, Leon. Oh, just by the way, this is a more Guff review. Am I going to spoil it? We'll see. I'll put it on the thing, the title. So this is more Guff. I'm going to tell you more about the actors, and I'm going to talk about the movie. Leon, Closer, the Thor movies. You know, Thor, The Dark World, and what's the other one? Was she? No, she wasn't in Ragnarok. She was in Love and Thunder. Annihilation, Star Wars 1, 2, and 3, Mars Attacks, Heat, Garden State. She's been acting since she was a little nipper, and she's very good. And she got an Oscar for Black Swan. So Natalie Portman, I think she's produced this as well. And yeah, she plays Jane Hammond, who's married to Bill Hammond. Now, Bill Hammond used to hang out with a gang of bad guys led by Ewan McGregor, John Bishop. He fell out with them over Jane. He rescued her from John Bishop's brothel, who poor Jane had to work in. She had to work in this brothel to, I think, yeah, she wasn't obviously happy working there, and he rescued her from there. Of course, fell out with John. Bill and John fell out, and John wants payback. Bill Hammond arrives home shot 5 times, and he's good for nothing. And the rest of John Bishop's gang are on the way to Jane's house, to Jane and Bill's house, where their daughter is, to finish the job. So Bill Hammond is played by Noah Emmerich, and you may have seen him in Super 8, The Truman Show, Cellular, Warrior, Pride and Glory, Wind Talkers, Copland, Life, and Frequency. And yeah, he plays Bill Hammond. Bill Hammond was a bad guy in the past, but he fell in love with Jane and left the gang of bad guys. And our chief bad guy here is Ewan McGregor. Shallow Grave, Trainspotting 1 and 2, Star Wars 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there's a Star Wars connection here with Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor. They were in Star Wars movies 1, 2, and 3. Yes, so it's like a reunion. It's a bit of a reunion here. Moulin Rouge, Black Hawk Down, Big Fish, The Impossible, Doctor Sleep, Obi-Wan, the TV show, Fargo, the TV show, and Birds of Prey, and a lot more. Ewan McGregor's been around a long time. Plays a great bad guy in this. Yeah, he does a good bad guy. Now, Jane, she's in trouble. Her husband's back home, shot up, barely alive. She needs help to defend her home. And who's she going to call? She's going to call Joel Edgerton. Now, Joel Edgerton, you may have seen in Star Wars 2 and 3. Okay, so another person from Star Wars. Yeah, they're all here. Ned Kelly, King Arthur, Warrior, Zero Dark 30, The Gift, Midnight Special, Bright, The Green Knight, 13 Lives, Loving, Boy Erased. So he's done some really, really great movies. He plays Dan Frost in this. And there's a connection between Dan and Jane. Before Jane met Bill, Dan and Jane were fiancés. But Dan decided to go to the Civil War. And he was gone to the war. He didn't stay with his beloved. And the war, of course, took longer than he thought. And Jane heard he was killed, but he wasn't. He came looking for Jane, couldn't find her. And of course, Jane married Bill and had a kid. And yeah, so love lost there, a bit of, that's a nice element to this, that sort of broken romance. Dan is living, I think, fairly close by. He's a bit, his life's a bit of a mess. I don't think he's ever gotten over Jane, but Jane needs his help, and when she calls, Dan comes and helps because he still loves her, even though she married Bill and didn't wait for him. So that's one of the elements to this love triangle. And Joel Edgerton, very good actor. He's real subtle. He's great in this. Great subtle actor. He's like a ninja. He sneaks up on you with his acting skills. And he's also a writer. He also done some writing on this as well. So Joel Edgerton, great stuff. Ewan McGregor, great stuff. Now, part of Ewan McGregor, a person in Ewan McGregor's gang of bad guys is Boyd Holbrook. Yes. He plays Vic Owen. Now, Boyd Holbrook, Logan, The Predator, In the Shadow of the Moon, Narcos, The Host, Gone Girl, The Sandman TV show, Run All Night, and A Walk Among the Tombstones. So yeah, I like Boyd Holbrook. He's a great actor, and he's a great bad guy in this. And who else is the bad guy in this? We have Sam Quinn, who plays Slow Jeremiah, and he's been in Only the Brave, Independence Day Resurgence, and Get Shorty TV show, and he's another great bad guy. Yeah, the bad guys are good in this. Sort of, you wish they could have their own little, spin-off, like a prequel, and And also another bad guy is Rodrigo Santoro, and he plays Fitchum, and he was in 300 Rise of an Empire, and 300, Westworld TV show, Lost, Shay Part 1 and 2, Love Actually, and Focus. So great actors in this. There's no weak link in the chain. So you've got great actors. Yeah, this is, I don't know if you call it run-of-the-mill sort of Western, but I think, no, it's not. I suppose it is. It's a run-of-the-mill Western. They're trying to defend their home. Dan joins Jane, even though he doesn't like Bill. He hates Bill because Bill took everything from him. But yeah, we have the build-up where Dan is creating traps, A-Team style, to defend the home. Jane puts her daughter into hiding, and they prepare for the attack. And when the attack comes, it's very, very nerve-wracking, very suspenseful. Yeah. Look, I like westerns, so I'm always happy with any sort of western, as you can see with the hat. And this is a good western. I enjoyed it. I did indeed. It's nice to see sort of a revisionist western. But Natalie Portman is great as her character Jane, very tough, well able to shoot, well able to stand up for herself. We see snatches of her past as she met Bill, as she was taken into servitude in the brothel, and how she escaped thanks to Bill. And yeah, so we're delving back into the past, and we're seeing you know, why John is such a bad guy. And yeah, a big shootout, a big battle, and well, I spoiled this. Maybe I should. I like the way. I like the way. In the end, well, it's not good for Bill, but yeah. So I'm going to spoil this. I'll give you a warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. I like the ending in this. I like the way. Look, sadly, Bill passes away, and Dan survives, and Jane survives, and Dan finds out that he has a daughter. Yay! He has a daughter. Jane thinks the daughter is dead, that John killed her daughter, because he didn't need the daughter, he just needed Jane to work in the brothel. So Dan and Jane discover that their daughter is alive. John tells them before he dies, and yeah, that's a nice ending. There's an uplifting ending here. So Dan and Jane get back together and head off. Jane gets all the rewards for all the bad guys, for Fitchum, for Vic Owen, for John Bishop. So she gets all the rewards, and they go off and hopefully have a happy ending with their two daughters and their rekindled love. So yeah, you're getting a bit of, maybe the ladies would like this. They're sort of that sort of romance, and you know. So yeah, I'm happy with this. This is, yeah, you know, you already hear trivia about the production being, you know, not going the way they want as directors leave, but Gavin O'Connor usually brings his A game, and this ain't bad. This ain't bad Western whatsoever. I give it a 3 out of 5, but I'm heavily leaning on my love of Westerns to give it a 4 out of 5, but I'll just stick with a 3.5. And yeah, what else? What else can I say about this? Great photography, and yeah, great direction, great. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy this if you like westerns, and if you like Star Wars, because this is a sort of reunion. They're back together in a parallel universe of westerns and gunfights and shooting. So yeah, Jane Got a Gun, 2015. It's a good watch. It sure is. Check it out. Fred MacGuffin's Reviewed. Jane Got a Gun.